Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining me for the Kids Make It session. My name is Kate, I'm one of the short course trainers at the National Institute of Circus Arts, and today we are going to learn how to make our own juggling balls. So first of all, we just need to make sure that if we are a little bit younger and we're not so sure with using scissors and things like that, grab a grown-up that can help you, or you might have some older siblings that you can do the activity with. So there's a few little steps in this that might be a bit tricky if you're quite young, but see how you go, grab some help and we'll get started. First thing you need to do is make sure you have all the materials today. So to make 3 juggling balls like these ones, you're gonna make sure you've got 6, whoops, that was a bit loud. You're gonna make sure you've got 6 balloons. So we need 2 for each juggling ball. So find yourself 6 balloons of all different colors. Then we will also need a pair of scissors. Make sure you've got a pair handy. If you own a funnel, or ask a grown-up if you've got a funnel in the kitchen somewhere, that's going to help you out a lot. If you don't, I'm going to show you how to make a funnel using a piece of scrap paper. So grab some scrap paper. Then you're also going to need some rice. So you might not have any rice in the house. See, ask a grown-up if they've got some in the cupboard in the kitchen. Otherwise, you might have a sand pit, or you might be able to use some gravel, or even really fine gravel, or you might be able to use lentils. See what you've got, go and ask your grown-up, prepare all the things on your table, and we're gonna get started. So, firstly, I'm just gonna show you how to make a funnel if you don't have a funnel. So grab a piece of scrap paper, I have my old calendar here, and you're gonna fold the corner in to make a square. So you wanna make a triangle shape. So you should have a triangle with a little rectangle at the top. We're gonna cut the rectangle off. So we're just going to trim that, and then we can put that rectangle bit to the side. We don't need that, that can go into the recycling. From here, we're going to open our square back out, and then we're going to curl one side of the paper around until you start to get a funnel shape. Okay, can everyone see that? So I'm curling it around. This paper is a little bit thick, so I have to push it around. Once we've got it to curl, we're just going to get a bit of sticky tape. Sometimes it helps if you can pop that on your finger before you curl. And then we're going to sticky tape along the edge of our funnel that we've made. You might need to pop a little bit more. You might need to do a few bits. And I'm going to try and go nice and slowly in this tutorial so that you can all follow along with me at the same time. So we finish together and then we'll be able to learn a few little tricks. Okay, so you can see how mine's got a little bit of a hole in the end already naturally because I wasn't very accurate with it. If yours doesn't have a hole, you can just trim it with your scissors to give yourself a hole so the rice can come out. All right, there's our little funnel. We can pop that aside, or we can use an actual funnel if you have one. Now we need to prepare our balloons. So when they're just like this straight out of the packet, they're a little bit small and it's hard to get the rice to fill it. So we're going to blow them up. So you're going to take a nice big deep breath. If you've got little lungs, you might need to get a grown-up to help you. So you're going to blow it up. And then we're just going to let the air come out. All right, you've got 2 more to go. So blow up 2 more balloons. And then let all the air out. That's it. Make sure you're putting them to one side so you know which ones you've blown up. And our third one blowing up. Whew, I'm puffed. And let all the air out. Try not to let go of your balloon, otherwise you might be playing a game of chasey. So leave the balloons on the table in one spot, the ones that you blew up. Your other 3, have them on the other side so you don't get them confused, okay? Now is when we're going to get our funnels or our piece of paper. If you have the piece of paper, it's a little bit more tricky. The more narrow your opening is, the easier to try and squish it around. See how you go. It's not ideal. It's not as easy as if you have a plastic funnel, but you can try. So we're going to put the balloon on the end of the plastic funnel or your paper one. See how you go with the paper one. Now this is a little bit important at the moment while we're trying not to spread germs. You've just put your mouth on the balloon and now we're putting it onto the funnel. So please make sure once you've finished this activity that you go and wash your funnel, or you pop it in the dishwasher, or you tell you've grown up, this one needs to be washed, okay? So we're not spreading any germs. So we've got that prepared. We then need to get some rice. I like to fill a cup of rice, because then it's easier and it doesn't spill everywhere. So I just fill up my cup with a little bit of rice, and I'm going to turn my funnel up, and I'm going to pour the rice into the funnel. You don't want to pour too much, otherwise it won't fit into the balloon. And then we're going to try and open the balloon to get the rice to pour in. Okay, sometimes you have to push it and squish, and you're going to keep filling your balloon. Try not to spill, oops. And then you want to keep going. And then you'll get to a point where you've got a very, very, very small ball and you've still got rice in your funnel. And when that happens, you want to push your funnel down so you create space. If you have the paper funnel, you may need to use your fingers to squish the balloon rather than using the funnel. So we want to fill it up enough that we have a decent ball to catch. We don't want a tiny juggling ball, otherwise it's a little bit difficult when we want to catch it. So we've got to keep squishing that rice inside, and I reckon that's looking pretty good. I'm just going to get the rest of the rice so that it doesn't come bursting out when I take the funnel. So we want to make sure, have a little look, is your funnel clear? And then you can take the funnel off. All right, and we're just going to push the rice down and then put that one to the side. Okay, we're going to pick up our second balloon, one of the ones that you blew up, and we're going to attach it to the funnel. And this is going to be our base for our second juggling ball. And then you're going to repeat again. If you need to fill up your rice a little bit more, go for it. We're going to pour the rice in and then make sure it's going into the balloon. And then you're going to press down. Keep making space for the rice. And we want to try and fill it so that it's a very similar size to the previous one. So we can have a, keep it next to you so you can keep looking at it to make sure it's the same size. If you want to get really accurate, once you've done your first one, you could take note of how much rice you poured in your cup, and then you could just do the exact same amount. That would be very clever and not something I thought of before I started. So I think that's looking to be a very similar size, and I have a little bit of extra rice in my funnel, so I'm just going to pour that back in and then make sure I've squished all the rice, all clear, and then I can take the top off. And I'm just going to press that rice in so that it can't come out the top. And I'm going to put that one down as well. Okay, so we've made two. And now we're going to make our third one. So grabbing another balloon that you've blown up, placing it on your funnel. Oops. Oh dear, can't do this morning. And we're going to pour the rice in, making sure it's actually going into the balloon, not getting stuck in the funnel. Whoops. And then pressing the rice into the balloon. My balloon wants to keep shifting, so just be aware of that. You might need to keep pinching your balloon on so that you don't end up with a rice explosion everywhere. I'm going to keep pressing. And again, we're going to try and get this one a very similar size to the orange and the yellow one that I've already made. I think it might need a little bit more, not too much. What do we think? Do they look a similar size? I think so. So we're now going to take the funnel off, and we can put the funnel to the side. We don't need that one anymore. If you've got your paper one, you can also move that to the side. And I'm just going to move this rice out of the way so we have plenty of space. Okay, So I'm just going to make sure that the rice is below the tail of the balloon so that there's none sticking out. And then I'm going to get my scissors and I'm going to very carefully trim the tail. You can leave a little bit, you don't have to have it flat. You can leave a tiny little tail on the top so that your rice doesn't come spurting out. And we're going to do that to all three and make sure we don't knock them over at this point. So we're going to try and keep them sitting on the table nice and flat. And I'm going to put them there so I don't, clumsy me doesn't knock it over. And I'm going to keep going until all three look exactly the same. And then we can move the tails to the side. We don't need those anymore. We're going to grab our balloons that we didn't blow up and we're going to trim off the tail. So this time we want to go nice and close to the edge from where it's rounding and then going flat, okay? So we want to trim that tail off and we can put the tail aside. We don't need the tails. And we're going to trim this one, that's it, and one more. Okay, now I like to have, if you want to make your juggling balls all the same color, that is totally fine. I like to have my alternating colors so that they're nice and colorful. So I think I might put the blue on the orange, the pink on the yellow, and this bluey color on the green. So what you're going to do is the balloon that you've just cut the tail off, you're going to stretch it over the top and you want to try and get the center of this balloon over the opening where the rice is. So you're going to stretch it over. That's it, like you're putting a swimming cap on. Okay, so now we've created one juggling ball with two different colors. We can leave it there and I'll show you in a sec how we can make it a little bit more colorful as well. So we're going to keep repeating those steps with the next two. So we're going to stretch the balloon, pop its swimming cap on, over the top, make sure it's not folded. You want it nice and snug, trap all that rice. And that's number two. Oh no, my rice is coming out the top. So we're going to do our number three now. Stretching over. Popping the swimming cap on. And make sure, oh, that one went well. So depending on your size of your juggling ball, you're also going to get the difference in the color showing. So as we can see, I've made mine maybe a little bit uneven, or I've cut the balloons a little bit uneven. So it's a little bit of trial and error, but it doesn't matter too much. And then if we'd like to have our balloons in more colors, we need more balloons. So if you have some extra balloons, you can grab them out. And we're going to trim the tail off. And then we can also just stretch that over, or if we'd like more holes in our balloon, we can cut shapes out of this balloon. So you can do different little curves. So I'm just cutting a small amount. You can change how big or small, depending on how you would like your juggling ball to look. And then, if I can get it apart, you're going to do the same thing. So you're going to stretch it over like a swimming cap. So I would like my green bit to still show, so I'm going to leave that part and then I'm going to stretch it over. And I'm going to make sure it's nice and flat. That's it. And now we have one that's got different little spots, okay? So you can keep going with that if you like. If you'd like to make them all different colors. It's not a bad idea because the more layers you have, the more the rice is trapped inside. You can try folding your balloon the opposite way to what normally would be folded to get your little cuts on a different spot. Oh, got it in the cup. And then you could keep going if you wanted as well. You could keep making lots of different colors. I'm just going to do a few. You can personalize your juggling balls, and if there's a few of you in the family, you might like to do them different colors, and then you can have your own set and you know whose is whose. We'll make some polka dot juggling balls. I reckon it'd be pretty cool if you could all show us the juggling balls you've created, because I think everyone will come up with their own version, and that's really cool. Oh, look at this one. We've got orange and blue and green. And sometimes you just don't follow into shape. And let's go final one. I'm going to add another yellow balloon to this one. So I'll have some different layers of yellow. And we'll do some extra little polka dots. That's it. Just be careful with this one when you're cutting as well, because it's quite small. You've got to be controlled with the scissors. So this is where we might need a grown-up to help us. And I'm going to stretch it over the top. And now I have my final one, a yellow and pink polka dot. Okay, so now that we have our 3 juggling balls, you can keep going if you want. You can keep making more. You might even want to make some as presents for friends or for other people in your family so you can juggle together. Make sure you clean up your space. So we're going to put all of our tails and our extra bits, we're going to put them in the bin and pop everything away and find yourself a space where it's nice and clear, and I'm going to show you a few little tricks we can do with our juggling balls. Okay? Okay, now that we have made our juggling balls, I'm going to show you a few little things that you can start off with when you're first learning to juggle. So we're going to just grab one juggling ball first of all. Now making sure, because we're inside and we're not in our circus training space, you need to make sure that you have some room around you. So if you stand on the spot and spin around like this, we don't want to be hitting anything. Also, have a little look what's above you, because when we use our juggling balls, we often throw them up. So make sure that you've got no lights or anything above you that you could potentially damage with your juggling ball. If you've got space outside, probably even better. Head outside. I can't today because it's very rainy, but you can head outside, and then you'll have plenty of space to throw the ball up in the air. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to warm up our throwing and catching. So we're going to hold one ball and we're going to throw up and catch with 2 hands. Okay, so we're going to throw and catch. And let's see if we can keep the throw at a similar height so that we're getting our consistency with our throws. And we're practicing catching with 2 hands because that is easier to start with, okay? And then if you're feeling fancy, you can throw and catch in one hand. Throw, you might want to catch in the other hand, and throw and catch. So I'm swapping my hands from side to side. And taking note where the ball's going. Is it going forward and you're having to reach for it, or is it coming back into your body? If we're throwing it forwards, it usually means that we're flicking our hand forwards. If it's coming back into us, we're flicking our hand in towards our body. So we want to try and go straight up towards the ceiling, okay? Keeping our shoulders down, and we're trying to keep our elbows in by our sides, and we're just throwing up and down, all right? Let's make this a little more fun, because this can get a little bit boring if you're just going side to side. So let's see if we can throw and clap. So we're going to go throw, catch, throw, clap, catch, throw, clap, catch, throw, clap, catch. Oh dear, I threw it forwards. Throw, clap, catch, throw, clap, catch. All right, if you've mastered the single clap, let's try 2. Remember, how high is your ceiling? How many claps you might be able to do, all right? And we'll go 1, 2, catch, and 1, 2, catch, 1, 2, catch, 1, 2, catch, 1, 2, catch. Excellent. I don't have a lot of height, so I may not be able to get 3 in, but let's see if we can fit 3. You might be able to, so we're going to go 1, 2, 3, catch. Oh, I have to bend down to get it. And 1, 2, 3, catch. Excellent. And 3. 1, 2, 3, catch. Oh no, I've thrown it forwards again. And 1, 2, 3, catch. Excellent. All right. You might be able to try 4, or you might be able to try 5. But if you're like me and you've got a low height, we can try another fancy little trick. So we're going to try doing a half turn. So we're going to throw slightly over our head, and we're going to turn around and catch. Okay, so I'm going to watch it as I turn. And I'm going to watch as I turn. And watch and turn. If you're getting dizzy going one way, spin the other way. So we're going to turn and catch. Turn and catch. Turn and catch. All right. You might be super fancy and you might be able to do a full turn. So see if you can throw it up, spin all the way around and catch. All right, give it a go. See if you can do it. I'm not sure if I'm going to fit it in with my ceiling height, but I'll give it a try. So I'm going to turn. Almost. That's it. And full turn. Try 3 more full turns. I'm going to do some half turns because I've got a low ceiling. And we've done our 3 full turns. Excellent. Find the ground again. Make sure you're not too dizzy. I know I'm a little bit dizzy. And let's just have a break from our throwing and from our dizziness. We're going to try some balances. See if you can balance the juggling ball on the back of your hand. You might be able to move your arm around. Keep it balanced. You might be able to go for a little walk. Might be able to go for a little bit of an adventure through your house. See if you can go down and up. Maybe you want to try and open a door and go into another room with it balanced. Or maybe you can try having a little drink of water while still keeping it balanced. You can change it to the other hand and see if you can keep balance. I'm not very good with my left hand apparently. Then to keep going, you might like to try to see if you can balance it on your elbow or on your head. Because these rice balls can be a little bit hard, not like the beanbag ones we use. Sometimes you do have to soften them a little bit to get them to balance. And you might see if you can walk carefully with it on your head. That's it. If you want an extra challenge and you've got floorboards like I do, try and find a line and see if you can walk along that line like you're practicing your tight wire walks from circus class. And we might try and walk backwards. That's it. See if you can bend down and keep it on your head and standing back up. Maybe we can do a turn, nice and slowly, all the way around. That's it, very nice. And then we can just nod our head and catch it in our hands. Excellent. We can try balancing on our foot too. So if you peel your toes up, like you're trying to bring them up towards your tummy, it helps make a little scoop. And you can balance it on your foot. Oh dear, I have to try again. Balancing it on that foot. We have to go very slowly with this one. We also have to work on our balance with our other leg. It's quite tricky because we're balancing both our body and we're balancing our object. That's it. See if you can move your leg around. What can you do? Can you lift your knee up nice and high? Oh, I clearly can't. Or you might be able to take it behind. I've got to practice that one a little bit more, I think. Behind and in front. Lovely. Try the other foot. So popping your ball, peel the toes up. See if you can lift the foot up. That's it. And all these things practice, yeah? I'm making mistakes and that's normal. We're not going to be perfect at it to start with. So it's very normal to drop it. We've all got to learn and start somewhere. So don't worry if you're bending over and picking up the ball way more than you are catching it or balancing it. That's all part of learning how to juggle and also learning things like object balance and pretty much everything in circus. We have to keep trying many times. All right, grab your second ball. We're just going to finish off with one little exercise that you can continue practicing and then we'll hopefully follow along with another juggling workshop and you can learn how to use more of your juggling balls. So with this one, all I want you to do, we're not even going to worry about catching, we're just going to throw. So we're going to try and throw one ball over the arm that's still holding on, and this one's going to go over the opposite arm. So we're going to go throw, throw, drop, drop. Now, when we drop them, ideally we want the balls to be sitting just in front of our feet. And that's a good way to measure if we're throwing it forwards or backwards or where it's going to be, because eventually you want to try and catch it. So you want it to sit underneath where your hands are. So we're just going to go throw, throw, drop, drop. Then have a look. Oh dear, my right hand went all the way over there and my left hand was quite good. And then you can fix it the next time. So you're going to go throw, throw, catch. Now I've done it the opposite way, okay? So I've overcompensated. So now I need to make sure I bring it in a little bit more. So we're going to go throw, throw, drop. And now it's sitting in front of my feet. All right, so each time you can learn something. So we don't just pick them up and go, oh, we'll go again. Have a little look. Where did they land? Was it far away? You need to throw closer to your body. Was it behind you? You need to throw a little bit forwards. Was one hand all the way over there? You might need to reduce your power, okay? So you can keep practicing your throw, throw, drop, drop. And then we're trying to keep our elbows down. I get in the habit, I throw them up here, okay? So elbows down, throw, throw, drop, drop. Have a look where they are. So I would like you to keep practicing this one. Try to get them nice and close to being underneath where your hands are. And then hopefully you will have mastered that and we can move on to our next stage of juggling. If you're already a juggling master from attending lots of classes, go for it. See if you can practice your tricks that you've learnt with your trainers over the last however many terms you've been doing classes. And I hope you enjoy playing with your new juggling balls.